Hello and welcome to UC Today. My name's David Dungay. Today we have another UC partner update. I am joined by Dimitri, IT Sales and Business Development at Mida Solutions. Welcome to the show, Dimitri. How are you?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Today, I'm really excited. Dimitri's going to share a bit of insight on the trends impacting the Mida Solutions partner base at the moment, and then also share a little bit about the product roadmap for the next 12 months or so. Dimitri, should we get straight into things? What I'd really like to
Yeah.
know, first of all, is what are the big challenges and trends impacting your partners right now?
Okay, David. So right now there are many challenges for our partners because let's start from the pandemic. I would say we saw a complete shift in the unified communication world. We got used to a world in which we go to the office, we work in our office location, and we pretty had everything there, and so we could do everything from the office. With the pandemic, we started to work more from home, so our working location changed, and so each enterprise need to have a change in how they handle the communication between their employee. Um, this also means that you have to adopt new technologies like Microsoft Teams that allow you to communicate both from home and from work. You need to access everything from the computer, but all the services that you used to have when you were at work in your office, you need to have them also working from home. And this is a little bit of a challenge because it's not so easy. It's not so simple sometimes. And this is something that our partners are telling us. Right straight from this point, I would say that you have some challenges because you need to educate both the partners and the customer because maybe you have a workforce that was trained on technologies that are not up to date anymore. You need to change them. So you have a training problem. You need to train the workforce. You need to train the people that are selling new products in our partner sales environment, I would say. And so this represent another challenge because you sometimes miss something that the customer needs if you are not up to date, if you don't know all the products, if you don't know what is going on in the ecosystem, in the unified communication world. And so you need to be up to date, you need to train, you need to understand all the products that there are in the space in order to better address all the issues and all the problems that a final customer may have. So this is the second point. Another trend that we are seeing in unified communication is that more and more the enterprises are moving toward SaaS and the cloud. They want a ready solution. They prefer to buy a solution without installing something in their environment, in on-premise, I would say, which is the classic deployment model. And they prefer something that it's quicker, that you have a quicker go-to-market. You don't need to have maybe many technicians in your enterprise, in your organization to handle all the data center. And so it's smoother, it's quicker. But nevertheless, our partners are telling us that it's not just SaaS, it's not just cloud, because there are some entities, for example, in the public sector, but not only that, they need to have anyway an on-premise solution, and on-premise solution is anyway still present in the market. So this represents a challenge for the partner because they need to have vendors that can both deploy their solution on-premise, in the cloud, and maybe also have a SaaS offering, a SaaS solution. Um, Also, starting from this point, I would say that in the sphere of the communication, of the unified communication, we are seeing a lot of new technologies. Like, for example, Microsoft Teams. It's the main example, but we don't have just Microsoft Teams. We have a lot of other solutions, like, for example, Zoom. We have WebEx. We have many more players that are coming to the field. And so we need to be aware of what is happening. We need to know them, and we need to understand what solution we can offer on top of them. And this is something that our partners are looking at quite closely, I would say. Because yes, Teams is very strong today. They gave out a lot of licenses during the pandemic, and they are almost in every computer, I would say, right now. but we don't know what will happen in, I don't know, 3, 4 years. And
Yeah.
so we need to pay attention. I can add maybe one last point that we are seeing, because we see that all the customer and all the partners are requiring enhanced features. Let me give you an example. We used to One of our main product is the recorder, and we were asked a lot of audio recording solutions before the pandemic and till I would say 1 year ago. Now they are requiring not only audio recording solution but also video recording solution, also chat recording solutions. And so our partners are gathering all these requirements, and they are much more complicated. The features requirements are higher, and so the products must address all the requirements that the final customer has. And that's it, I would say, for the first question.
Fantastic. So I particularly like your point around partners educating themselves and understanding the products and what they do in the marketplace, particularly around the last couple of years over that pandemic period. And of course, that is why platforms like uctoday.com even exist, and that is to give that kind of education. So that leads us really nicely into that second question, Dimitri, and that is to get a bit of insight on your actual product roadmap over the next 12 months or so. Can you give us a bit of a rundown on the features and benefits you're going to be bringing your partner community over that time?
Yes, for sure, David. So I would start from the last point that we touched some moments ago. The first thing that I would like to talk about with you is our recorder, because we are seeing that there is this requirement for more functionalities. So our recording solution is a modular recording. So we have a central playback station, and you have many modules that can record different technologies. You can record Zoom, you can record Teams, you can record EP phones, you can record EP trade turrets, even in transportation we record Tetra, so radio, and every module does a different recording. What we want to introduce in this recording solution is we already introduced right now, just last week, the video recording for Microsoft Teams. We are going to release the chat recording for Microsoft Teams very soon, and we want to enhance all the recording modules in order to have both audio and video and the chat recording solution. For example, we are going to release the Zoom video recording solution. And why is this important? Because a customer can have just one recording solution, and they can record everything that they need to record inside the organization. And that's the key point for us. One second important development that we are doing is our contact center, because we just introduced the WhatsApp channel. So now you can send messages to the agent using WhatsApp, and it's a technology that we all use. Everyone is using WhatsApp, I would say. And in the future, we want to introduce more advanced functionalities, like an advanced CRM introduction. Sorry, not introduction, but integration. And so our solution will be fully integrated inside the most common CRM platform. And we want to introduce also some functionalities on the call sphere, so like the barging and the listening. And we think that this will dramatically implement and increase the functionalities and add value for the final customer, for the customer care. One more thing that I can add is some advanced functionalities, both for the recorder and for the contact center, which is the speech to text. We want to implement the speech to text in order for the recording solution, because it will be much more complete in the research and playback. You will be able to research using keywords, and all the text will be automatically generated, so it will be easier, and you can just check what was said in a conversation or in a video, and it will be written automatically. And you can also implement many more functionalities like the auto tagging and very, very interesting stuff that we think will be useful. And this will be used also in our contact center, because you will then have sentiment analysis. And this will not only improve the satisfaction for the final customer, but will also give some metrics for the enhancement of the contact center itself, because you can understand what is not working and what is already working quite well. One last point that I can add is our SaaS solution, because everything that we just said will be also available as a service. And why is this important? Because the customer can try our services and then decide whether they want to continue with Mida on as a service, or maybe just buy the solution and continue with a classical capex approach. I don't know. And the barrier at the entrance, it's dramatically decreased, and that's why we think it's important. And that's it, I would say.
Well, Dimitri, thank you so much for that. That was full of insight and lots coming down the line from a product perspective as well, which I'm sure partners will be eager to get their hands on your new technology and solutions. Unfortunately, that is all we've got time for, but thank you so much for joining me.
It was a pleasure, David. Thank you for having me here.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay. This has been another UC Partner Update. Don't forget you can follow all the other UC Partner Updates on the uctoday.com platform. That's it from me. See you next time.